there's a cost that comes with playing by the rules, going by the rules, and trying to be perfect, playing it safe, and doing as you told. And it's cost me more than I like to admit. Doing everything right still leaves you empty. And I'm man enough to admit that. I grew up thinking that if I was kind and nice to everybody, if I did as I was told, if I didn't step out of line, that I would get ahead. And that has not helped me at all. What it did do was make me a people pleaser, made me afraid to take risks. And it took me a long time to break out of that. Like realizing that obedience didn't mean and didn't guarantee fulfillment, opportunity, success, or protection for that matter. And it took me years, literally up until my late 20s, to get out of that. Because I always thought that if I just did everything right, everything would open up for me. And it didn't happen that way. People took my kindness for weakness over the years. I was putting unnecessary pressure on myself, and you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. It's okay to break the rules, to step out of bounds and step out of line sometimes. Like there's pressure to be perfect, and that pressure to be perfect robs you of your authenticity. It steals from you. And the only person that hurts now and later is you, because some people don't know how to break that cycle. I was fortunate enough to break that cycle. Following the rules means shrinking yourself. You shrink your voice, your desires, and your truth, all for the sake of not want to be mean, people pleasing, and literally not knowing and being confident in who you are. You owe it to yourself to not hold yourself hostage like that. People pleasing disguises itself as discipline, and it's the complete opposite. You're not really following rules. You heard me? Like you following these made up rules to avoid disappointing others and not really disappointing yourself, because that was the trap that I was in. I didn't want to let anybody down. I felt like I had an obligation to literally make sure I was good for everybody else. Make sure, you know, if I said I was gonna do something, I did it, even if I didn't want to do it. Even if the things changed and didn't work out the way I wanted them to, and I wanted to back out, I didn't say no, because I didn't want to be guilt tripped. I didn't want to be like the letdown. And it only hurt me in the long run, because like I was there for everybody else, but nobody was there for me. And that's the reality of it. Like there was so many missed opportunities because I was afraid to step outside the lines. And I know that's part of a lot of people's issues. It's like you're so afraid to step out of line that you miss opportunities because it goes against the grain. It's something new and unfamiliar. And society says that you're supposed to go with the grain, you're supposed to stay in line, follow the rules, and that's that. And you ultimately miss out on great positive interactions with people and experiences just because it's not the norm. It's a little out of the way. Like playing it safe keeps you from taking risks that could change everything, that can literally change your life. You have to again break that cycle. You owe it to yourself not to keep yourself in this box, in this bubble, all for the sake of thinking that being the good person and all of that is going to get you somewhere, because ultimately it just leaves you stagnant. It leaves you stuck in having to unprocess and undo all of that later on in life, like I'm doing and I've had to do. Like rules, rules teach compliance, not confidence. And oftentimes we think that, that's a good thing, but it can very well hinder you. It's not it's not a sports game to us that you have to play rules. You literally get one chance at this thing called life. And when you learn to wait for permission instead of trusting your own judgment, it leads to a lack of confidence. It leads you to second guess everything. When somebody presents you with an opportunity, and it's a genuine opportunity, but for you looking at it like, oh, that's too good to be true. It can't be. So you ponder on it, you question it, you have to make sure all your ducks in a row, and you have to check in with everybody before you make a decision. And by the time you make a decision, it's too late. You have to remember that, again, compliance and confidence are two different things. And then there's this resentment that builds up because over the years, I've gotten to a point, and I'm better now. I've let a lot of it go, but for a long time, I held on to a lot of resentment for how things could have been had I made certain decisions. Had I not been afraid, had I just stepped out of line just a little bit, how the opportunities that I missed could have changed my life. And there's no way to know for sure, but this is just me having those conversations with myself, because there was plenty of opportunities that I didn't take because I was too afraid, because it wasn't the norm. So like that resentment builds, and like I realized that, like, there was a lack of boldness, and this just being obedient cost me so much. And like watching other people break the rules and like still get ahead literally is eye opening, and it's painful. It's painful because like you sit back and you look and you be like, well, I did everything right. I didn't hurt nobody, I didn't tear nobody down, you know, I didn't complain. I did everything that they said I was supposed to do. And then here's this person or that person who seemingly done a lot of wrong, not to be judgmental, but have done a lot of wrong. And it seemed like they've gotten ahead. Seemed like they've gotten everything. So you have an opportunity to break that cycle. You have an opportunity to rewrite your own rules. Stop being so cautious. Stop playing it so safe. Now, I'm not saying that you should go out and hurt people and do people wrong to get to the top. What I'm saying is, if an opportunity presents itself, it's okay to literally not go with the norm. It's okay to step out of your comfort zone and make a different decision than the one that you always make. Like reclaiming your life is so important, especially if you're older, your mid 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s or older. Like reclaim your life by prioritizing alignment with who you are and the person you want to become. Trust your intuition, trust your gut, and let go of outdated expectations, old ways of thinking, and let go of the old you, because that's ultimately what's holding you back. You don't have to play by the rules. It's okay to create your own. It's okay to step out your comfort zone. And it's okay to change your mind, even in the midst of doing it, doing something. Like you don't have to be a people pleaser. That's not a requirement. There's no requirement to like just be, that pushover to get to the top, because being a pushover won't get you anywhere but heartbreak and setbacks. Because ultimately you're gonna feel bad and feel guilty down the road. So don't be like me and not figure this thing out until, my late 20s. But if you are in your late 20s and 30s and you're still struggling with trying to do everything the right way, there is no right way. There are multiple ways to get to a destination. That's why when you look at a GPS, it gives you 3 or 4 different routes that you can take. So keep that in mind, man. And I appreciate you for tuning in to another episode of A Quick Little Word Podcast. It's your boy, Chris Wright. Be sure to check the description for all of the links to clothingbrandfashions.com. Get you something. Be sure to check out my book also, that will be linked. Share this with somebody, like, comment, subscribe, and again, share this with somebody who may need to hear this. And as always, till next time, peace, love, and happiness.